Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Buzz from Tossed Firewood. Today, this is what we're going to talk about. Totes for firewood. I've got two examples here. On the left, I've got one that's neatly stacked and one on the right that is loosely thrown. They both have advantages. The stacked is neater. You know you're getting exactly a face cord or a third of a cord. And then the other one is much quicker because you're just throwing them in there and you're not worried, but you do have to worry a little bit about volume. Make sure you don't rip off your customer. But I get these totes pretty cheap. I got about 75 to 80 of them. And usually I've kind of converted to the side on the right because it's saving time, just throwing wood in there, and I'll just grab a little extra when I make that delivery. But I do want to show you guys how I make the ones that you can stack. So we're going to set up the camera and we're going to get one of these new totes that I picked up here recently. As you can see them in the background. And we're going to get it set up to where if you need to stack. All right, what we've got here is an IBC tote. This is one of the smaller ones, 275 gallon. They have a 330 gallon, about 4 or 5 inches taller, holds just a little bit more firewood, but roughly when you throw the firewood in here, you're gonna be just shy of a face cord, but when you stack it in here, you get almost exactly a face cord, a 4 foot tall by 8 foot long row with 16-inch pieces that we cut here at Buzz Cuts. I wanna show you how I'm gonna cut this one to go ahead and get this stacked. Even though I don't normally do that, I've just been throwing them in. I get these totes pretty cheap because they're damaged. As you can see here on the bottom, this rail's coming off. It's got a nice little bend in here. But we're gonna go ahead and set the saw up here, and I'll show you how I make those cuts in order to get that thing stacked. So let's get started. So the problem when you're trying to stack firewood is they are so tall that when you're trying to lay those pieces down at the bottom and get them nice and lined up, you can't reach because this comes up too much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a window in here, make it easier to do. And for this, all you really need is an angle grinder. I use a cheap little Ryobi, got them for free at Christmas one year. Got them as a gift, and yeah, still does it. And obviously some sort of safety glasses because you don't want those sparks coming up. I'm gonna cut it here, and then I'm gonna cut across on this bottom row, allowing me to cut in. All right, just like that, now we've got a tote that we can do some stacking with. One of the things they got to be a little cautious about is these are a little rough, they're hot right now, but these things can be kind of sharp, so you can grind them a little bit like I did there. I'm gonna take a piece of wood and rub it across there, kind of like take off any of those burrs. Yeah, so now we've solved the problem. So what I've got is some premium maples. Say I want to stack it in here. If I don't have it cut, I'm really just kind of throwing the pieces in there and hoping that they line up, and they may or may not, like they're getting off track right there. But with the window, it's as easy as just setting it in and going. These little corner pieces, I take them out. I don't really need those. But just like that, now you can stack right away. One row across the front, one row across the back. Both of them will come up. They'll be 4 foot tall, 4 foot wide. That makes one full face cord. Yeah, so as you see, I've got a mixture. Always trying to weigh the cons. versus the pros of having that window. Yes, it makes for a nice easy stack, and I know I'm getting exactly that measurement I'm looking for. But when you're in a hurry and you're just trying to split directly into a basket, it's easier to throw them in there. So I've got a mixture. I'm going more toward these baskets right here. Just throw them in. I don't stack my baskets. There's a lot of awesome firewood guys that'll stack theirs 2, maybe even 3 baskets high. Again, my baskets are beat up. I'd be afraid of a collapse. But as you can tell, we got a handful of firewood out here in the baskets in a variety of assortments of species, as well as style of stacking. Here's that maple that I just grabbed from. But yeah. So I appreciate you watching. Short, doesn't take a lot of time if you want to stack your firewood. I always recommend totes if you can get them, especially if you can get them cheap, because it does make it easy, especially if you have a tractor with forks, you can move them around. If you want to have the window, man, do it. If you want to just take the tops out, pull the bladders out of there and throw them in, that works too. It's whatever really floats your boat. I've got a couple of varieties, but a short video just to show you how to save some time and enjoy doing firewood. And I'm gonna get to it and lose a little bit of water weight because it is hot in Louisiana, but I'm behind and I want to get out here and de-stress a little and get ahead on some production. So thanks a lot. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It helps the channel and allows us to do more content like this. Thanks.